guys know that Paramount Studios has been wanting to buy, they put in an offer to buy Warner Brothers. And, we've had some discussions about that, about how much we do or don't like the notion of Paramount potentially getting Warner Brothers. Of course, Paramount being bought out by Skydance, who is run by Ellison, whose daddy is the boss of Oracle, a company that has a net worth value of about $830 billion, went ahead and bought out Paramount. And they've been making big plans. And listen, you guys know, I think a lot of the plans that they've been saying that they have for Paramount, I'm very excited about. I think they've got some really, really good plans. But apparently part of those plans involves getting their grubby little mitts on Warner Brothers, something I'm not a big fan of. But apparently, Rob, this is where it gets interesting. According to a new report coming out of CNBC, Paramount has not made one bid to get Warner Brothers. They have given them 3 offers to buy Warner Brothers, all of which Warner Brothers rebuffed and said no. CNBC Business wrote the following. Warner Brothers Discovery has rejected 3 Paramount Skydance takeover offers as it fields broad buyout interest, CNBC's David Faber reported on Wednesday, citing sources. Paramount's last offer was for just under $24 per share and was comprised of 80% cash, according to Faber, who previously reported a bid could come in at between $22 and $24 per share. All right. I am not surprised at all that Warner Brothers has rejected the bid. Because if you're going to put in a buyout bid for something like this, if you want to buy out a company, you've got to be willing to offer them more than what they think that company is going to be worth 6 months down the line, 12 months down the line, whatever. As a matter of fact, as of this morning, I think the stock value of the company was right at around $24, to which Warner Brothers would probably look at them and say, we think our company's going to be worth more in 6 months and a year than the $24 it is now. Why would we sell it to you for this now? Now, you'll remember, Rob, that I said a while ago that one of the reasons I think Warner Brothers turned down Paramount's initial bid was because Warner Brothers just straight up thinks they'll offer more. And I guess they went back and offered more. They said no again. They've gone back and offered more again. They've said no again. Now, there are other players at play here, and we will talk about that a little bit later in the show. For now, we're just going to focus on Paramount. Listen, Rob, again, my position on this hasn't really changed. I like a lot of the things that Paramount says they're planning on doing with the studio. I think they've got some very exciting things. They've made some major great talent signings. They seem to have big goals and big dreams, and I'm excited about it. But I really don't want Warner Brothers going over there, like, at all. I've got some picks that I have, but at any rate,
guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Zapier. You know, one of the biggest game changers of the past year has been AI. But let's be real, just talking about AI doesn't actually make your day any more productive. What does make it more productive is finding tools to put AI to work for you. And that's where Zapier comes in. Zapier is the easiest way to take AI and plug it directly into the apps and processes that you're already using every day. No IT bottlenecks, no complexity, just results. For me, it's been about saving time on repetitive stuff so I can focus on the work that matters and I actually enjoy. And it's not just me. Over 3.4 million companies are already using Zapier to streamline everything from sales and marketing to IT and HR. With their AI orchestration platform, you can connect top AI models like ChatGPT or Claude right into the apps you already use. So whether it's automatically enriching leads, coaching your sales team, or even resolving IT tickets, Zapier makes it simple. Guys, join the 3.4 million companies already automating with Zapier and transform how you work with Zapier and AI. Get started for free by visiting zapier.com/Campea. That's zapier.com/Campea.
Rob, I'm not surprised to hear that Warner Brothers has turned this down. Were you surprised to hear about the 3 offers? How high do you think Paramount's going to go? What do you make of all this?
Well, think you're absolutely right. I love the moves. David Ellison is a well-regarded person in the industry. The people that I know that have worked either directly for him or for Paramount or for Skydance like him very much. And I think he really loves movies, and I think he's really good for the industry. And I think building Paramount back up to the mountain it should be is a good thing. Again, I see the idea of buying an entirely another studio. I think that makes both studios in a way sort of compromise. Why do you need two studios? Build up one. I don't like this consolidation because the job of movie studios, John, is to make entertainment, to make movies and television and the ancillary things that go with movies and television. And if there's less and less people at the top, that means there's less places, there's less opinions, there's less tastemakers working in the industry. And we need different venues in which to take properties. And I think that Warner Brothers, they've been doing a really good job forging relationships with talent lately, such as bringing in Zach Kreger, such as doing the Final Destination movies, what they've done with Ryan Coogler. I mean, this was something that Warner Brothers themselves did. I don't know if other studios would. Remember, other studios turned Ryan Coogler down for his Sinners deal, but Warner Brothers didn't. And if Warner Brothers was taken over by Paramount, would a Paramount Warner Brothers consolidation have made that choice to make Sinners? I don't know. But to have more choices gave Ryan Coogler an opportunity to negotiate, and we got a great movie out of it. And that's what I think at the end of the day, the business of making movies and entertainment, it's not all about corporate mergers and acquisitions. It has to be at some point, you have to have an executive group that's passionate about what they're doing. And I think the people that are controlling Warner Brothers now are that. And I would hate to see it disrupted.
Now, let me play devil's advocate for a second, because as I've already said, I generally agree with you on this. Let me play devil's advocate for a second. Just recently, Warner Brothers re-upped DeLuca and Abdi's deal, which means if Paramount got Warner Brothers, they have to honor that deal or buy out DeLuca and Abdi for big money.
Yeah.
And you and I have speculated that maybe part of the appeal of Warner Brothers studio is that they get DeLuca and Abdi. So let's say they look at that and say, we want to keep DeLuca and Abdi in place to run that side. The other devil's advocate thing I'll play here is this. You're asking, why not just build up your own studio, then acquire another? I would suggest that if you're a studio owner, we all know that IP is king in this business, right? And you look over the fence at Warner Brothers, they've got some very juicy, tasty IP that I think any studio would love to get their hands on.
Sure.
I mean, not the least of which, of course, is the DC properties, right?
And
Like Ellison and Harry Potter and many others. And I could see Ellison, who's a bit of a geek boy, going, oh, would I love to make a Batman movie or something like. So I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I could see what the appeal, even just on the IP basis alone, I could see what the appeal would be for something like a Skydance to get it. So look, I don't blame them for wanting it at all. I listen, if I was over there right now and I was in the executive rooms of Skydance / Paramount, I'd probably be also saying, we should be looking at getting Warner Brothers. But I'm not in that executive room. I'm a film fan, and I'd rather not see Paramount take it over, to be honest with you. That's just where I am,
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't disagree with you in theory, but I often think that, I would hate to see movie making become some monoculture where there's only one monster studio.
100%.
That the thing about the heads of studios is they have different points of view. The movie moguls, Warner Brothers was known for making its gangster movies, for instance. Other studios, MGM made its musicals. And so the rich history of entertainment has been forged by companies that have different interests in different areas of the business. Disney made its bones with family entertainment, and that's really what they're still known for. And so I would hate it if everything became homogenized. For our culture, look, for business, it's interesting, John, because it ain't show friends, it's show business. We always say that, but in terms of what's being made, the product that's being made, the more diversity in terms of the kinds of stories that are being told and the kinds of movies that are being made, same with television, I think we need that diversity of thought at the studios, and having one guy in control of two studios. I mean, at least they brought Steve Asbell over from 20th Century Fox to be the president of 20th Century Studios, and he's really maximizing what 20th Century had in its quiver. So it's nice to see that happening. I mean, Warner Brothers has such a great storied history. It's one of our oldest studios, and I would like to see it stay autonomous. But I don't know if that's possible in this day and age. Maybe it's just not.
Yeah, anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Apparently, Paramount has not once, not twice, but thrice gone to Warner Brothers and made offers, and each time Warner Brothers has said thank you, but no thank you. Are you surprised by that? How big of a bid do you think Paramount will go? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.